Hey there. So I was thinking about something, and this is kind of an introduction video for a series that I want to do as a result. And the thing I was thinking about is how did we get from Weimar Germany, total collapse, financial collapse, to Hitler taking over most of Europe? Like, how, not from like a military standpoint so much, but how from like a political and financial standpoint did that occur? Because I have questions and technological standpoint too. Like, this is basically an exploration of how Germany went from, with the Weimar Republic, the bottom of the bottom. Like, they were, they had $20 billion loaves of bread and shit like that at the bottom. How did they go from that to dominating the world, both from a political view and a financial view and a technological view? I don't know exactly how I'm going to research all of this, but my plan is to do a bunch of research and then come back and do another episode. I don't know when the episodes are going to be. These are just going to kind of be as I can do them, but I would expect more in the near future. Uh, in particular, I'm very curious as to at exactly what year German technological advancement really sprung off. Because it seems to me that, like, as the war progressed, their technology advanced more and more. And basically, my main premise of this whole thing is that at some point in the 1930s, uh, the Nazis found some sort of shit, whether it was ancient shit, alien shit, I don't know, a fucking radio transmitter that lets you talk to fucking other planets. I don't know what they found. They found something, and their technology started booming. And the reason I say this is because of what's going on in the world now. I trace all of our current technological nightmare and the boom of technology straight back to Nazi Germany. That's where this shit really started. Like, there's maybe some stuff that, like, you could be like, oh well, America was developing technology then too, and the Soviets were developing technology then too. Yeah, but like, all of our modern world didn't come out of what they were developing, it came out of what the Nazis were developing. All of the shit that allows the authoritarian nightmare to happen comes out of what the Nazis were developing. So I'd like to look into their technological development more. I don't know if there's anything really to be found there, but I kind of figure why not share it if I'm going to be doing a ton of research and shit. And then the next thing is, with the Weimar Republic crash, how financially, to do World War II, Nazi Germany spent a shit ton of money. And like, did they kill Jews and take their money? Yes. Did they, form a totalitarian state and like just start using everybody's money? Yes. But the amount of money that they spent was even more than that. And it makes me wonder if they didn't find some hoard of gold or something like that in addition to other stuff, or if they had financial backing from some, unseen hand in history, or if they fucking got given gold by aliens. I know that one's kind of out there, but there's something fishy about what happened in Germany during the 30s and the 40s, and there's implications of it for the now. And I would like to have a video series exploring this in detail. Also, while we're at it, the political shit that was done to bring about Hitler, I think, is worth having some conversations about, if for no other reason than we're watching it happen again. Like, the left likes to accuse other people of what they're doing, and they called Donald Trump Orange Hitler. I put it to you that we are about to see someone come to power in this country at some point that will be a Hitler. They will not be orange. It'll be a different color of Hitler, like a yellow Hitler or a fucking, you know, I can't think of a blue Hitler, a green Hitler. It doesn't fucking matter. We'll have some color revolution, just like they keep having in Ukraine, because all of the people that run fucking Ukraine also run America apparently, and they're Nazis, in my opinion. I think the Democrats are Nazis, and that's kind of why this has bearing on what we're doing right now. Like, I think after World War II, we scooped up a whole bunch of Nazi scientists and even politicians to some extent, and a bunch of other people, generals, and started using them to fight the Soviets and really allowed them into our system. And that was, 70 years ago. They have grandchildren now. Where are those grandchildren? What do those grandchildren think? Like, do you think like your father or your grandfather? Bet you think like one of them, whether you know it or not. And if you're raised in families that pass shit on, right now we could have a whole fucking generation of the world's politicians that are the grandchildren of these paperclip Nazis. And I think that's scary as fuck, especially with what the government is doing more and more in several countries. It would not surprise me to find out that these people actually run China or something too, or maybe like their cousins do or some shit. Like, it's some weird shit with China. I don't really know what's up with them. China seems to run their own show, and they seem to be somewhat outside of the loop on technological development. All the tech China ever has is copied from other people's shit. I've noticed this. I think most people have noticed this. So this brings me back to, let's explain that. Well, if the Nazis did have secret tech at the end of World War II that they were hoarding and experimenting with, the Chinese wouldn't have gotten any of it, would they? It would have been split up between America, Great Britain, France, and Russia, probably. Like, even if China was one of the allies, they weren't over there when they found that shit. And I'm guessing that everybody else voted just not to tell China. And I think one of the cards that Russia has in all of this is they have better rocket technology than us for some weird reason. Now, part of it's that's where they put their money, but part of it is they've always had better rocket tech than almost everybody. That's the thing most people don't want to talk about, is like, there were several pieces of tech that everyone's like, oh, look at the German one, like the fucking STG-43. It's a perfect example. The AK was not copied from the STG-43. They were both fighting the same war and experiencing the same shit. And like, maybe did they see those and go, ooh, we want our own thing like that? Maybe. But if you look at the AK, it comes from this like Russian submachine gun kind of idea. Like, the STG-43 is like a rifle with a fucking big magazine, and it's full auto. The AK is like a sub gun that was made bigger. Like, it's really like a crude thing. It's just my opinion. And I think there's some of this that maybe whatever the fucking Nazis had access to, the Russians have always had access to. And or after the war, they captured that shit. Because that's the other thing, is they captured Hugo Smizer. And half the reason the AK is what it is because Kalashnikov and the Russian dudes were working on the AK about halfway through it when they got Hugo Smizer. And he definitely had an impact on the finalization of that product and making it the gun it is today. So, like, the truth of all of this is basically somewhere in this weird, like, it's like having a fucking trail mix of an answer or some shit, And I think that's probably what the answer is in reality on most of this shit I've been talking about. All the tech in Nazi Germany, all of the alien shit in Nazi Germany. Like, there's probably a real answer to a lot of this shit, and the answer is probably a trail mix of all of the above. And I think it's because the Nazis were crazy enough that they just threw money at everything. I think they threw money at psychics and alien fucking researchers and fucking whatever. They were like, let's see what pans out. And some of the shit panned out. That's like the occult thing, too. I think it's the same way. I think Hitler was buddies with Himmler, and Himmler convinced him, let's throw some money at these occult fuckers because I'm in with them. And I don't know if anything really came of that, but it seems like, I was joking the other day that they might have brought about the end of the world doing like fucking occult ass ceremonies and shit. Like, look at what's going on now. Like, what if they opened a portal to fucking Gozer or some shit at the end of World War II? It would explain a lot. Like, the world's gotten really strange since they dropped nukes. Anyway, I'd like to do more of these videos as I do more research on Germany in the 30s. And I don't know. I think it'll be a fun uh, series of videos. My goal is to have them be around 10 to 20 minutes, probably. And this first one is kind of just an introduction. And like I said, I don't know on what schedule I'm going to be making these. I'm basically going to go read a bunch of shit about this and do a bunch of research and come back and do videos as I have shit to talk about. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.